Welcome to another CMO Wisdom podcast. Today with us, Charles LaCapra. Charles has a lot of interesting things going on, but Director of Marketing and PR at Red Carpet Monday is his current title, quote unquote. We're going to talk about sports, hip hop, spirituality, and everything in between. PR, obviously, marketing. Charles has a pretty cool background, worked with various athletes. I'm excited to get into it. If you want to start your own podcast, scale your own podcast, be invited to a podcast like this one, you can go to podpire.com. Podcasts are quite amazing to get to meet people you would normally not meet, learn from them, network with them, build a community on your backend, and even get leads. Podpire.com. Charles, welcome to the pod. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about what you're up to nowadays?
Well, my name is Charles LaCapra. As you stated, I'm the director of director of marketing and public relations for Red Carpet Monday, which is a social business networking event. We are the premier. We've been around for a good while. I say we started it was founded in 2005. The founder was Ryan Deming, and Ryan Tucker was the founder. Ryan Deming is the CEO of the company, and so we're just looking to continue to expand and grow. I'm very active in my community, being able to assist a good friend of mine in different areas of the city. Also being one that's being able to help the youth, my mentor as well, and being able to help youth in different sports. And so it's great to be here today. Great to be interviewed by you and let people know what Red Carpet Monday is about and how we can help them with their vision and with their dream.
Pretty cool. So what background do you have in entrepreneurship and marketing? Like, what have you been up to that has energized you and filled you with passion the last couple of years, business-wise?
Well, business-wise, I've always been good at making money. Even as a young person, I always had the ability to have ones to invest in me and being able to give them a return on the reason why I think they should invest in me, and being able to give them a return in reference to the strategy that I had. And I think what people look to do when they want to invest into something is, how is this benefiting me? And it's just like being a pain doctor. When you go to, if you got a heart problem, you ain't gonna go to a doctor that deals with the stomach. So in other words, you try to find people's pain and find out how is it benefiting them and what they're trying to do. And that's what Red Carpet Monday is so great at, is because it helps people to not only brand, but also to market. And you're able to come in contact with other individuals that will have a like mindset like you, and that you're able to connect, you're able to develop a good friendship, but also with that, you're able to build. And I think that's why Red Carpet Monday has been so successful throughout the years, because you're able to develop genuine relationships with the individual that's not going to waste your time, but that's actually doing something. And that's why, as in reference to building a business, I found myself being able to have one, not only, I think morals is the foundation of value, and value will help you to be successful. So in other words, in business, you got to have a great foundation. I think it starts with morals. I think it starts with value, and then you will accomplish with success.
And what are your values?
Well, my values is being able to give what they pay for. Being able to have them to see the very thing that I've exhibited to them, and allow them to not only but make a good quick return. I think in your business, I think it's important that you know how to invest in it, but I also think when you're going into something that you know what your return is, what you're looking at achieving, what are you trying to do, and not only being able to know your market. And I think that's one thing about Red Carpet Monday. We have a demographic, and we also show you the different marketability for your company, and so you already know what you're going into before you even to invest into Red Carpet Monday of your business.
Right. And I want to ask you, you have got various awards here and you've worked with various athletes. You receive Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. So that's pretty nice. Tell us about your background in sports and working with top athletes and what you learned from yourself doing sports and learned from these top athletes.
Well, I've always been very competitive. I think in the, and being an athlete, uh, you learn how to not. I tell my son, you can like the game, but are you a player of the game? And being a player of the game is you're going to do what you need to do when no one is watching you. And that's when you're putting that time in, you're investing in yourself, you're eating right, you're training right, you're getting out there, you're on your grind, you're doing drills. You're just not doing it when it's time to train with the team, but you're doing it when no one else is looking at you. And that's what separates you from the rest of the athletes, because that way you'll find out, are you a person that just like the sport, or you're going to find out if you're a person that really a player of the game. And I've always been self-motivated. I get out there and do it. I grind. When I was younger, when I played, and like I said, I took Shotokan karate, which is a Japanese martial arts. I played football as well in high school. Also found myself being able to get into boxing. I was a great trainer in that, being able to help young men that were streets that had more of it was a way out for them to not to get caught up in some of the criminal activity out there. And one of the success of that is I was able to train a young man, help a young man that was on his way to being a menace to society. I ended up changing his life around and became an Olympian, and went off to the Olympics and everything else like that. That's one thing that I can have a success story about. And in doing that, I received an award from the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame for my, what's the word I'm trying to use here? My commitment to the community and to the youth in the sport. And it was such a great honor to do that. And I did a big signing banquet that year. I think it was in 2021 when I got the young man signed to a major promoter. And then also received an award from Galaxy Entertainment, reference to the same thing.
Read the book of Mike Tyson a year and a half ago as a boxer myself and Muay Thai guy. It's probably my favorite sport, and me, the only concern I have with this sport is that it physically messes you up. Got a crooked nose, for example, from my boxing trainer, imagine. And the neuronal damage it can make. And I'm never gonna ever give up on this sport because it's fun. You know, you're like playing when you're sparring and you're trying new things, you're being creative. You get punched on the nose, so you feel a lot of pain, but you continue, you stay calm, you know. It's also anger management, because if you get angry, you usually get fucked up. It's like an instant karma, right? And I wrote down my Twitter that I'm gonna invent some kind of helmet, you know, that's anti-concussion or something like that, because I'll never give up on the sport. That being said, coming back to Mike Tyson, Mike had a very his life was like full of movements. I think he's sort of straightened up and somewhat found peace, but he introduced me to the idea of boxing clubs to straighten up a community. It's not just boxing. I believe it's any sports. You can biochemically modify someone's brain and introduce discipline into them, introduce education, introduce grind, introduce values that are scalable, because a lot of values that we're taught as youngsters are not scalable, or let's say activities, right? Me, I got into alcohol. I got into video games, I got into porn, a bunch of things that, couldn't scale. And I wish I would have had sports early in my life. How should we design sports program to keep the youth out of trouble, have it as the center of their life, and inculcate great values to them?
Well, I think a way about doing that, you got some trainers out there that's all about the money. They're not really concerned about uh, developing a relationship. I think it's important when getting into that, if you're really about the youth and if you're really about, say, developing, you're not so much worried about the talent or the skill. But what you're really concerned about is their character and developing an integrity. What is their life like after the sport? Because a lot of times you say you get a kid that has great talent, and sometimes trainers they say, man, I can do something with this, and they're envisioning themselves going all the way with this young man, or young woman, and say something happens to that child or that youth, and they get an injury. Then they turn around and drop them like a bad habit. Now they no longer give that young child, adolescent, the attention that you was giving them. Now they feel abandoned. And now they're saying, you didn't really care about me. And what I feel is that people really don't care about how much you know. They care about how much you care. And then once they see how much you care, then they care about how much you know. But you got to be careful of the false image, because the false image can make you, because of the time that they're spending in you, do they really care for you or do they really care for your talent? And so I think it's very important, and I'm trying to be careful how I say this. You don't have to physically molest someone. You can molest someone emotionally. You can molest someone mentally. And now here it is, you have molested their mind, giving them the false image that you really cared about them, when all you did was cared about their skill. And so when we get into this, if you have a real good trainer, and I'm not saying well, I'm not even going to say trainer, I'm going to say instructor. If you have a real good instructor, not only going to instruct your skill, but they're going to instruct your character, because they're looking at the long haul, the long journey. So instructors is different than a coach, because a coach only cares about your skill. They only care about your talent. But an instructor cares about your character. They care about your integrity. And the last thing that they worried about is your skill, because your talent can take you further than what your character and your integrity can keep you. And that's why we see a lot of these, and that's what they say a lot of times, that a lot of fighters, they lose the fight outside the ring. They never get there. They're able to win the fight in the ring, but they can't win the fight outside the ring because their character and their integrity is messed up. So I think it's very important that when you taking your child or you get into the sport, really find out who this supposedly coach that needs to be an instructor. You need to really find out, are they really in it for you, or are they just in it for your talent? Because your talent can't keep you, and you get an injury, they're going to drop you like a bad habit. That promoter going to drop you like a bad habit. There's no longer the attention that you once was getting, because you're no longer an asset. But if I really care about you, I'm not worried about you not able to fight anymore. I'm in it because I'm in it for you. and I
There
want
you
to see
go.
you succeed. And we're going to come up with a program, a development. Okay, hey, let's put some money over here. Let me show you how to spend your money. Let me show you how to invest it. Let me show, hey, you can't box forever, or you can't fight forever. So you need to be having something going on. Hey, what is your second passion? You like real estate. Okay, let me show you how to put your money in real estate. Because anything happen to you, you're going to still be able to make money. And that's the thing that I see so many times, that the young people that get into this game, because they put all their eggs in one basket, and they're looking at this to be their star athlete. Then an injury come, now they hear they broke
There
because
you
they don't
go.
know anything else.
Yeah, the picture, the imagery is that there's a ring, and when you step outside of that ring, there's a bigger ring that's called the ring of life. And a lot of action happens in that one, and that one is way more brutal even than being knocked out on the canvas, you know.
Mhm.
Heart injuries, these one are humongous. Emotional injuries, you know, because life is tough, you know, life is full of challenges. And yeah, that's super important to teach them something that is scalable. The real ring, the is gonna serve the metaphorical ring of life. You know, when you get outside of that ring, that's preparation for life. It's not the other way around. So very
Right.
important. And we've seen various athletes being injured and coming back stronger, you know, and that is the real challenge. Because for an athlete, when your full identity is into being an athlete, being strong, being powerful, achieving your goals through physical means, and when you're bedridden, that is quite disturbing for the psyche. I was watching this guy, this UFC athlete called Charles Oliveira, and I think he
Mhm.
started his UFC career in like 2007, and he has only grew from now. His last fight was against Khabib, like the GOAT, you know, in the welterweight division, I believe. And he's really improved his technique. He got knocked out a bunch of times. He's got some weird freak injuries, you know, and he's still in the sport like years later, and even better than he was, as better as ever. So quite important. Except finance and wealth, what do you teach these young athletes outside of the ring? Any mindset or frameworks that can serve them in life and keep them on the right track?
Right. And that's where we get back to morals. That's where we get back to value. And the last thing we should be worried about is being successful. Because when you have morals and you have value, success is right there, because it's going to feed success. So many, they come with, hey, I just want to, I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. You know, I want to, that's good. That's good that you want that. But money only fuels what's inside of you. So if all I'm doing is teaching you how to get money, you're not going to be able to keep it, because you don't have any morals. You don't, you know what I mean? You don't have any value. And so my thing of it is developing good character. What are you doing on your downtime? And do you like to read? Because only a good leader is someone that likes to read. And are you willing to lead others? And I think with I would say the world how it is right now, we need great leadership. We just don't need someone that is wealthy, but we need someone that is a great leader, because when you're a great leader, then you are the most wealthiest person around, because there's so much value inside of you that needs to be poured out to others. And so what I do is I get with them, I get them to learn about how to invest in their time. I'm dealing with their character. I'm dealing with their integrity. Don't worry about a reputation, because when you have a good character and good integrity, that keeps reputation. But if only you worried about as a reputation, it's never going to sustain itself, because it's not built on nothing. You know what I mean? So I don't look to have a good rep. So anybody that knows me, or any of my friends that's around, or if anybody ever done business with me, they're going to say about me, that man right there has good character. If he tells you that that's what he's going to do, that's what he's going to do. Um, I'm not known as the one that that doesn't fulfill what I say. because as being men, I think it's very important that a man keep his word. And I'm not saying we're always perfect, but if I drop the ball, you best believe I'm going to find a way to make it up. I don't offer excuses. I don't come up with a bunch of uh, justifications. But what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a solution, and then we're going to have a resolution. So so that's how I live.
There you go.
Know?
Game plan, stoicism as well. Just focus on your locus of control, what you have control on. What you don't have control on, you stop bitching about it. You can't do anything about it. Like, focus on actions and what can bring you back on course. I think is something that can be taught to younger kids. In tough moments in life, when the storm hits, when the hurricane hits, how do you revolve to spirituality in those moments? How has spirituality guided you through these dark moments of life?
Well, I don't have any problem in that area. I'm a firm believer, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a total believer in Jesus Christ. The Holy Spirit is the light unto my feet. He's the one that guides me, and that's my relationship right there. I don't seen Him work through my life many a times. People see me now; they don't know my backstory. I came from a divorced home. I've seen my mother deal with domestic violence when my stepfather used to hit her, and to see her go through that, I've seen the pain that she endured. I used to hang out in the streets as well, hung around criminal activity that wasn't good, and I've been growing up as a young child in the hood. I've been shot at more than one time. Thank God that I survived it. Didn't get shot, but the bullets missed me. But it's fearful to be shot at. And and it's all over stupidity, because you're trying to protect a rep. You're trying to protect your hood. Somebody, in your neighborhood done got, who committed the act, but yet you're trying to protect them because you're trying to represent your hood, so and then also been in the juvenile program for a little bit because I was disobedient, didn't know how to listen, and I felt I was dealing with so much pain and hurt inside, and being abandoned by other people that who I thought was loyal to me, who I thought believed in me, but yet when you turn around, they was no longer there. So my neighborhood was my goal. Seeing which I thought was cool, wasn't cool, and it caused me to get kicked out of the house, and ended up in the juvenile program, and it was a private juvenile program, and the person that ran the program, he used to make me sleep outside. They didn't like me, so all the other youth would sleep inside. I had to sleep outside. And I slept outside by a dog kennel. And there was a whole bunch of canine dogs in the back, and the place was full of feces and urine. And that was where I slept. And a lot of times I would be hungry, and I didn't have access to food. So what I had to do was hide food up in the ceiling. And what I would do, I would slide the towel back and reach my hand up there. And I had me some little snacks that I had saved. And I reach up there, and there's sometimes there'd be roaches inside the box. Somehow the roaches got up in there, and I would have to knock the roaches off, and I would still eat the food because I was hungry. And so, and if I had to use the restroom, and I'm just being transparent, I had to use the same way you see a dog go to the bathroom, the same way I used to, just like a dog. When you saw the dog clean himself with the grass, then I would slide myself across the grass and clean myself. But through all of that, I just had to still rely on God. He accepted me at my lowest. He accepted me for who I am. I graduated from high school. Not to say I was dumb, I was just foolish. and I graduated high school with a 1.5 GPA. I barely graduated out of high school because I was too busy getting involved in gang fights and everything else like that. But I ended up doing something with my life. And the first step with that was giving my life to Jesus Christ. And I remember going out to the altar and I said, hey, I'm done. I'm nothing without you. I'm full of anger, and why you allowed me to go through this and that. But I felt a overwhelming presence of love that came upon me. And I just began to weep at the altar. And I gave my life to him. And since then, my life has changed. And now what I do is I give that back to others. And now I'm involved in politics at a certain level. I have a good friend of mine that ran for sheriff. I was his assistant campaign manager. I've been able to be in the presence of judges, senators. I believe in not doing good deeds. I believe in bringing change. And you can do a lot of stuff, but if you don't have a person of influence that has the power to bring change, then all you did was a good deed. So what I try to do, anything that I do or event or anything, I try to have somebody of influence to bring change in reference to what I'm trying to do. And, I'm married to a beautiful wife. I mean, she makes me look good, and we have three kids, and she's a high level executive. She's also my business I would say manager. I go to her for business knowledge. Behind every great man is a great woman. I might be the head, but she's the neck that turns the head. So I rely on her for a lot of things, and I'm not ashamed of it because, hey, I think I don't know everything, so I go to her, and because she's smarter than me, and I'm not, and there's no competition in this household. So she's a blessing, and I'm her biggest fan, and she has really helped me to get to where I'm at. And she is the first lady, and she's gonna be my last lady, and ain't no everybody else ever gonna take her place. So
Wow,
yeah.
man. What a story. Nothing short but a miracle, sort of. Like you were really at the bottom there, and you sort of surrendered. Think some of us kids, we grew up with a lot of ego. Me, it was certainly my case, like always thinking I'm the best and I know better, and very rebellious, just like you had my upcoming with the law. Fortunately, first, I think because I'm white, that I didn't end up like in a very bad institutions like this one that would have you sleep outside. Although I do think that dogs are great friends. They
Yeah.
understand your feelings, and I love these animals. But yet, like I was fortunate, right? And my parents also, they always saved me from really getting to the bottom of that system, but I could have gotten there very easily, just like one mislip. But it's a very touching story, like I'm glad that you made it, and that now you can spread the love and the message, so that others cannot go into that bullshit. Because the flip side of that coin was you dying, from a
Right.
bullet. Literally, when the bullets are flying next to you, like it only takes a millisecond for it to hit your brain or your heart, and you're dead. That's it. That's the end of life. So
Right.
it's a very good story, and thank you for sharing it today.
Appreciate it.
Charles, where can people find out more about you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can go ahead and put in Charles LaCapra, and you'll see my handsome face on there. But also, the website to Red Carpet Monday is www.redcarpetmonday.com. And you can go on that website as well, and you can find out a lot about Red Carpet Monday. I'm in the process of developing another website right now, which is I'm getting constructed, but I'm sure that me and you will be in contact, and we'll do another segment. We have that, but as of right now, a great spot that they can find me on is Charles LaCapra, which is the last name is LaCapra, and you'll see my face on there, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
There you go. And I am Charles Cormier, your host, founder, wisdompodcast.com. And you can find me on LinkedIn as Charles Cormier. That was Charles LaCapra. And if you want to start your own podcast, podfire.com.